Hi, my beautiful Scorpios. Welcome back to Queen Cup Tarot. I am just burning some frankincense for you guys, getting ready to do your April 2019 tarot readings. I do want to apologize for missing you guys in March. So thank you for your patience, sticking with the channel. For those that are new, welcome. Please like, share, subscribe. And to those that are returning, like I said, thank you for your patience, but also thank you for all your support. Reaching out to me, for those that reached out to me on Instagram, sent me emails, those that I did personal readings to. Being able to connect with you has really been profound on me personally. So thank you for engaging me and supporting me in the channel. Yeah, so somebody timestamped the reading. For those that have been timestamping, thank you so much. I want to shout out a couple of people. As I said, I am going to do the shout outs for the readings because, you know, I watch tarot. So people ask me about other readers and I can talk a little bit about the ones that inspired me, at least for the past week or whatever. But I want to shout out Yasmin, who I am now getting my frankincense from. She is going to be the supplier of the frankincense in the smudge kits. She imports them directly from Somalia. It's the best quality frankincense I've been exposed to. So very stoked about that. I'm going to include her information in the description, because if you want to buy it in bulk, you can get it from her directly, because I'm just going to be selling the smudging kits, which for those that showed your interest and support in them, thank you. I'm just trying to logistically find a way to get them produced and shipped out to you guys, okay? So yeah, a couple of readers I've been watching. Water Baby Tarot, as I mentioned, Walu readings, Walu Children, W-A-L-U Children, Mana. Those are the ones I've been watching quite a bit of. I always watch Saltwater Heals. Actually, Saltwater Heals has been doing some crazy daily readings. She's hilarious, but she's been using like a sensual deck, and it's like, for like twin flame, soulmate, relationship type readings, it's bonkers, but it's really dope. She's really good for the dailies, Mana for the weeklies, Water Baby just for like general like collective readings. Who else? Those are the ones I've been watching as of late, so check them out, guys. Positive vibes only, okay? Go check them out, see if they resonate. If not, just move on. Like, keep your unsolicited opinions to yourself. At least the negative ones, because only positive vibes and positive comments are wanted. All right, so I think we can get into prayer, guys. I do smoke pot, for those that are new. It's not the nature of this, so feel free to either smoke with me. If not to worry at all. For those that do want a personal reading, you can email me at queencuptarot@gmail.com. The personal reading, somebody actually mentioned, sorry, I should have remembered her name to shout her out, but she mentioned the structure, and that I should mention the structure of how I do my readings in these videos. So really, I do them live, either via WhatsApp or Skype. And yeah, I do them live. I need to be able to connect. I'm an empath. That's how I do it best. So no pre-recorded. I do not need information like birthday situation. When we do connect, we pray together, we smudge together, just like you see here. And you give me a general idea and overlook of the clarity that you're looking for, the support you're looking for, and ultimately what you're trying to get out of the reading. That's the only information I need. Otherwise, I will communicate and translate to you the messages that Spirit deems is in your greatest good during that time. So that's a little bit about the process. Like I said, if you want a personal reading with me, email me at queencuptarot@gmail.com. All right, let's go into prayer, guys. I want to make sure there's enough frankincense so I don't have to interrupt the reading to put more. So good. It's like heaven. Some people say they can smell it through the video, which I believe. Okay. All right. Father God, ancestors, guardian angels, thank you for your unconditional love and guidance. Thank you for rising me up out of my bed this morning, and thank you for connecting me with the collective every day. Right now in particular, I ask you to connect me with the sign of Scorpio in order to communicate and deliver to them the messages that are in their greatest good. surrounding their material abundance, sustenance, the relationships closest to them, their personal ascension and development, and any other messages that you deem worthy at this time. Thank you, Father God, ancestors, guardian angels, Holy Spirit, for everything you do to protect us and support us and guide us every day. We are absolutely nothing without you. Amen. All right, guys. Let's see what Scorpio has going into the spring equinox. Mind you, this is a little bit past. I'm posting this. It's in March, but it's the end of it. But time is fluid, guys. It matters when you watch it. All right. Oh, wow. Your overall energy for the month of April is the High Priestess. So this speaks about intuition. This could be, you know, some of you might be deciding that you want to start your own, embark on your own spiritual journey and how to communicate with your divine guidance, your angels. So some of you might be picking up tarot decks. Some of you might be just starting to watch tarot and open up your world to it. Some of you, it's not even about tarot. I say that because there's a spread here. But this could be, you know, the High Priestess speaks of intuition, using it, seen and unseen, shadow, balancing the light and the dark in order to gain a full perspective of one's spiritual experience. Okay, so it's great overall energy, but it's quite mysterious. For it to be the overall, it's quite mysterious. So let's get in it. First card out, the Two of Fire. Here on the New Era Elements Tarot deck, which is absolutely amazing. This is reflective of wanting to carve out a new path for yourself or join forces with someone to embark on a new path. But it's what's funny is with domination, if you know this game, the arm wrestling game, even though if at first glance it looks like they're joining, what you know about this game and why domination is here, I believe, is because they're both trying to win. And what I believe, this is two very powerful paths trying to conquer the future. And it's which path is going to dominate. Okay? And it might be needing to use your intuition to determine which path, okay, is most powerful and impactful. Okay? Second card out. Nine of Fire, Nine of Wands, power. Okay. In the book, it talks about this is, I forget where this is an actual machine, and it shoots out these beams of razor lights in these 9 lights in order to make one incredibly powerful laser. So it's all these trials, tribulations, strengths, whatever you want to call it, honed in order. It's the pressure. It's pressure. It's honed in pressure that creates a lot of power. It generates a lot of power. This is a lot of power being generated. You see the electricity, the light, it's a lot of power. And I believe a lot of my Scorpios that are watching are starting to gain a lot of power from their spiritual abilities and how they're able to translate that here on the 3D, how they're able to dominate things, how they're able to be determined and execute power even when you're feeling weak, knowing that you're only 100 meters away out of a 1600 meter race. That's what this is. You're not going to stop 100 meters out when you've just run a 1600 meter run, right? So it's that power. It's wanting to conquer. And again, balancing of the light and the dark. It's like that could even be this, you know, the lightness and the dark battling, and which one is more powerful than the other at current, right? So this is interesting, guys. Your third card out, work. Some of you might be in a bit of a power struggle in the workplace. So there could be either you're a manager and you have a subordinate that is trying to dominate you, or you're feeling somewhat of a power struggle with someone in the workplace that might be looking to take your position, or maybe feeling like you're being pressured to work with someone or work in a collaboration that you don't want to be in. If it is a relationship, then that would allude to like a third party situation and having to dominate your way out of it if it's not somewhere you want to be. But in the career work setting, I'm seeing this as someone trying, there's a power struggle between possibly you and a manager, you and a coworker, or you and a direct report. So it's whatever you call it, team member or whatever. So it's, and then feeling almost at your wit's end. It's getting a bit intense. Now, if this is in the workplace and it resonates with you, it's quite intense. And if it doesn't feel intense yet, but this resonates, it's going to be intense. So you need to be very mindful about how you project your power, because like I said, with this card here, there's all these beams, and they're directed and pointing into one point to make it really powerful, a really powerful laser. So it's like knowing you need to encapsulate everything it is that you're feeling, all the energy, because I think for a lot of you it's overwhelming, to use your force in the most strategic way possible. Because if all of these 9 lights were just beaming out, it wouldn't create the same power as it does when they all meet that point. So it's needing to take your energy and have it meet a certain point so that you can truly dominate, maybe in a work situation, maybe dominate in a relationship setting of either romantic or platonic. And in the sense of dominating, meaning standing, it's debating 2 ideas to see which one is better. So somebody might be really sure about something, maybe in the workplace. If you're on a project, it's like 2 people are very sure about a way to do something, and they're willing to put both to the test to see which one wins. Now that can get very tricky. That's highly competitive, but ultimately it's to forge a new way. So it's not just aimless competition. It's like we're trying to see which one is the better way so that we can move forward in the best path possible for everyone involved. Okay? I hope that makes sense, guys, because I'm trying to communicate the words, but there's also these intense feelings I'm getting. Wow, Daughter of Air. 4th card out. In the middle of your spread. Wow. Love, 2 of Cups, the Hermit, Virgo energy, Son of Earth, Earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We also have Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. We've got fire here as well, so we've got everything at this point. Yeah, we have everything. Wow, the Hangman, which I believe is Taurus energy, a lot of Earth energy. And then your last card out. Oh, okay. It's not bad. It's just this deck is very jarring, and the images are supposed to be graphic for a reason. But yeah, I'm going to actually show you guys your spread before we carry on. Okay. All right. So, first card out here. Domination, that's the 2 of Fire, also known as the 2 of Wands. Knight of Wands, Knight of Fire, Power. 3 of Earth, 3 of Pentacles, Work. Daughter of Air, Page of Swords. 2 of Cups, 2 of Water. The Hermit, number 9. The Son of Earth, Son of Knight of Pentacles. The Hanged Man, number 12. And Grief, which is the 3 of Air, 3 of Swords. Okay. You guys can pause that and really zoom in. Those images are crazy, but I'll show you. Know how I do. I show you guys as I go, right? All right, let's get into this. So, like I said, there is a I'm seeing right off of the hop, guys, first message, because I'm going to have different messages. There's different collectives here. There is a power struggle in the workplace. We talked about that, but there's also a power struggle within a relationship, and both people are taking different approaches on how to gain control and dominate the situation. Right? One person is taking the more withdrawn, introverted, unavailable approach, where the other one is taking the approach of being more active, communicative, and seeking more information, meaning more willing to communicate and ask questions and answer them, where the other person is shutting down. But their shutting down is a way to dominate. So it's like two people are taking very different approaches to dominate. There's a power struggle here because these people are trying to figure out how to work on and build and develop something in particular. This could be, okay, power struggle regarding how we're going to make a family, or power struggle with regards to what is this going to work like, or how are these bills going to get paid, or, you know, changing the dynamic of, you know, if I'm working now, you're going to be working, or kind of thing. There is a power struggle, and it is, I'm getting that it's intense because both people are very, very strong. Strong-minded, physically strong, whatever. And when I say strong, it could even be, both could be really skilled. So it's like if you're in a work setting or a project setting and you put three really skilled people together during the creative cultivating process, you're going to have three different, specifically different, strong, creative approaches on how to execute and come to an end result of some kind, or build something. That specialist is going to say, well, this is the way based on what they know, that person is, and vice versa. So everyone involved is quite strong, which is why it requires a lot of power and resilience and determination in order to get your point across, especially if you truly believe that it's what's in everybody's best interest. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky now, right? Because I'm still seeing a polaring. So it's like, okay, I'm seeing a little bit of mirroring in a weird way, because in the middle of the spread is the Two of Cups. So let's say this is love related, right? Like romantically, or even, no, let's just say love, pragmatic or platonic, or pragmatic, platonic or not. These people are still, so under the Two of Cups is the Hangman. So it's gaining a new perspective on how these people come together, stay together, work together, whatever. And it looks like both people are doing it in their different ways, but it's like they're still off. This person who's going introvert and trying to, there's somebody trying to dominate, could be the Virgo energy, earth energy, but it doesn't matter. It's the more introverted person, the person who's shutting down. There's a chance that if that doesn't work, then they really start to self-harm. You know, it hurts them. Somebody's going to be hurt by, there is a disconnect with how these two people are seeing how they can come together, right? It's like there's a common goal, but these two people are finding it hard to come together in a way that makes sense, like three bees. It's like a mosquito, a bee, and a wasp trying to make honey. It's not working, but they all want to eat, kind of thing, right? So it's like, I see there's definitely love here, and there's passion, and there's a willingness to want a certain type of connection. But the way it's going about it, it's going to leave people, it's going to leave each person or the group of, it's going to leave people feeling alone or isolated, or, you know, if you are in a partnership, this is like feeling alone while in a partnership because you and your partner are just so not on the same page. So then you end up feeling alone laying next to the person that you're with, right? Or if you're not in a relationship, it's like having to use a lot of knowing that in the next relationship you embark in that you're going to have to use a certain level of power to dominate and not let yourself be completely consumed, regardless of the approach someone takes. Okay? I'm also seeing here that there's someone, this is kind of beautiful. There's someone who's really taking a new approach to the self-harm that they've been inflicting on themselves. So the coping has been actually self-harming, meaning coping from whatever it is. And somebody here, you know, some of my Scorpios are going to gain a completely new perspective, which makes you more grounded, and it alleviates a need to have to medicate yourself or cope with pain that I don't think you were holding on to. I think you were looking at wrong. Because the hangman is, it could be stagnation. Obviously, he's not going anywhere, but it's more about gaining a different perspective before making any moves or doing anything. And with the arms crossed, it's like, I refuse to do anything until I gain this new perspective, period. And it's like some of my Scorpios know that the grief that they've been carrying and the way they've been coping with it has actually been isolating them, making them unavailable, causing people to have to cut them off and abandon them, you know, only because they can't take part in that. It's like you end up feeling alone in the end kind of energy, but really looking at it differently and taking the power back. Some of my Scorpios might have been looking at it from a victim mentality, only to look inside and realize that there was something, whatever it is, was really hurting you, and it was causing you to live life a little less present. You weren't present. And then this actually makes you present. So taking time to gain new perspectives is really important. And how you do that could be like, okay, you know, if you have been looking at a situation, a memory, from the perspective of you, try to now look at it from the perspective, go over the memory or experience through the perspective of the other person. That's going from looking at it the perspective of you to looking at it from the perspective of another person, or looking at it from the perspective of being angry, hurt, and sad, to let me take myself out of it and look at it from the perspective of somebody on the outside, or somebody who isn't hurt and sad anymore and has done a lot of healing. It's a change in how it's being viewed. Okay. So yeah, I sorry if that, again, I hope you guys are sticking with me here, because I really see that somebody really gains a clearer perspective on how they were hurting themselves. You know, the Three of Swords is heartbreak, but the way it's depicted on this card, it's how we cope with the heartbreak after it's happened. We don't know how long this kid has had this heartbreak tattoo, but I'm sure he's been banging out heroin probably before it, right? And guys, it doesn't have to be heroin. It doesn't even have to be pot. It could be food. It could be sex. It could be anything. It's coping, but it's coping in a way that negatively impacts you, and it's a way to mask the pain. So a lot of Scorpios are going into spring maybe being aware of that, maybe gaining a new perspective on heartbreak or experiences that really hurt them, and then feeling a sense of freedom from it. Maybe being able to start over now, just because you don't feel the way you do anymore, because you're not looking at it the way you were, right? Going within is really important, you know? And if you feel like you're dealing with somebody, whether in the workplace, professionally, or romantically, it's if you feel like somebody is if you feel a disconnect, you're connected to somebody, you feel a connection, you feel it from them, they feel it from you, but there's a disconnect in the way you're able to understand each other. Just stop. Stop trying to communicate when you've already established that it's not working. Because what happens is then you just end up trying to dominate each other instead of maybe being a little bit more cooperative, right? you know, let's work together to an end goal instead of dominate the situation with a lot of you are going to, a lot of you need to realize that maybe you're in a social circle, and the way this social circle goes about doing things, it's very competitive. Could be a family dynamic as well, but very competitive. And it's almost like some of my Scorpios have reached like the top of that competition only to realize there's no fucking prize. It's like realizing that whatever power struggle there is, no matter what the intentions are, this can't get done the way it's, sorry guys, bear with me. There's something that you are trying to do with people or someone that cannot happen the way it's going down. There needs to be a different approach to the way you communicate and collaborate. This is going to require you to look internally and understand different ways of doing that based on the different ways you require people to do that. It's having a lot of self-awareness in order to kind of be aware about how you play a role in a relationship or a team dynamic or a social setting. It's like needing awareness. Being awareness, not being no follow fashion, and really just looking inward at yourself and saying, how am I connecting with people in a close manner? Because I feel like a lot of Scorpios are feeling like the issue is that they can't, or that they can't. It's not that, I don't believe it's the person. I believe it's the approach. So be very, very careful about, you know, making final rash decisions. It's like, who knows what this spread would look like for Scorpio if the approach from the very beginning was very different for this. Like, if these two cards were different, the cards to follow these would be totally like, it's the wrong approach. Someone's taking the wrong approach. Which, to me, it's like, you can't even determine if it's not for you. It's just like you really have to be cognizant. Not like, we sometimes become very obsessed and aware of how other people function and why they do and what it stems from, and they did this and why did they do this? No. Ask yourself. Okay, because what it looks like from the aerial view, it looks like two people, two opposing forces trying to gain a common goal in totally different forms and fashions. And instead of collaborating and exchanging and understanding and morphing, they're trying to dominate. They're trying to dominate, and that gets tricky, you know? Why should there be a winner or a loser when everybody can win if we all get on a accord? And that's what I'm seeing here. It's like trying to figure out how to get on one accord, but the approach is like, whoever dominates is gonna get to pick. No, that's not how it works. It's a collaborative effort. Are you Beyonce, solo, or are you Destiny's Child? Like, what? I don't even know where the fuck that came from. I must have been watching some shit. Anyway, so yeah, just, if you're feeling, you know, a struggle with a connection or a collaboration that you really are, you're like, we have the same goal. We want the same things, but it's just not, then you've got to strip the ego, take a new perspective, and then a new approach. A new perspective, and then a new approach. You were upside down, now you're upwards, a lot more composed, stable, grounded. But you had to, right? Okay. Okay, let's get some clarification from the wild unknown here. Thank you, Spirit, for this beautiful spread. My beautiful, beautiful Scorpios. I missed you guys, and I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. And just your understanding. You know, it takes so much energy, centering. I will not deliver messages to you guys if I'm not in a centered place to be able to do it properly. You know, so your patience for me to come to you guys at my best, whatever that may be, and you know, your patience and understanding, it really does mean a lot. So thank you, my beautiful Scorpios. Okay, let's get some clarification on this power struggle here. You know, a common goal, but it's always so sad seeing this. It's like, especially when like these people don't realize like that common goal doesn't get to, or like they don't get to create that idea or do that plan, or because they couldn't get to it, but it was such a great plan, and and the right people were involved. It was just the way the people were going about it, the way you were going about it, and the lack of perspective. Sometimes you need that aerial view. Sometimes you do need to sit upside down, right? Okay, Spirit, can we get clarification on the first row here? Energies closest to them, this power struggle here. Wow, the Strength card. It dropped upright and then went in reverse. See, that's exactly what happens in a power struggle. That's nuts. Wow. Okay. So, to clarify the first row, which is 2 of fire, 2 of wands, 9 of wands, and 3 of earth, 3 of pentacles, is strength, 8 of swords, and the knight of swords, son of swords. So you have 2 knights. But this dropped up and flipped over. That's exactly what happens here. It goes over. Goes over, it goes over. You're the strong one, then you're in the weak one, then you're the strong one, then you're the weak one. It's risky business. A risky business, that. Why? Because it keeps you imprisoned. Trying to win some fucking battle keeps you imprisoned. Feeling like you can't move unless you win. Meanwhile, this doesn't require a win-lose situation. It just requires a consensus, a general consensus, and action and strategic planning, whether relationship, romantic, or not. Okay. Now, this is the fast-moving communication. So in this power struggle, I believe there's a lot of communication back and forth. It could be even one-upping, you know, but it's communication. This could even be research on how to dominate better or how to be more powerful to get your way. If you're in a partnership, this could even be 2 people arguing about where they want to move, and then doing the research to determine which place is the better place to move and which place is more cost effective, right? And then like but the fact of the matter is, regardless of the 2 ideas and how great they are, there has to be a cooperation. It's like everyone in agreement, sound good to everybody. Everybody put great, this makes sense. Okay, good. And I think what the worry is if this competition starts overshadowing the goal to come together and get something done, whatever that is. Because this can then end up turning into some serious competitive power struggle shit, and then nothing get done. And that's what this is, being trapped. Okay. And Spirit, can I get clarification on the daughter, heir, the 2 of cups, and the hermit? Daughter, heir, 2 of cups, and the hermit for my Scorpios. Three of Wands. See, this is what I'm saying. Again, it's these two people that have a vision that they're trying to prepare for. The problem is they're not matching. The visions aren't matching. I believe each of these individuals has their own vision that they think their path will lead to, and they're trying to dominate. And what's I'm getting is beautiful. It's because the reason why they're dominating is because they want them to come, or else they would just break hands and say, bye, I'm going to go mine, you're going to go yours. It's like the two people are saying, no, you come my way, no, you come my way, no, my way's better, no, my path. It's adorable. The problem, though, is if this competitiveness gets out of hand. Because then what will happen is somebody will start getting at their wit's end, and this in reverse is having enough. So you don't want that. You want to be very clear about what it is your vision is, but also what it is of the person that you're collaborating with. And then bleed the ideas together like this watercolor. Different approach. Okay. And then Spirit, can I get clarification on the Son of Earth, the Hangman, and the Three of Air for my beautiful Scorpios? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You gained a new approach. You moved away from this energy, this darker, lower vibrational energy, okay, which I believe is where you were trying to resolve or where you were trying to dominate from, and then gaining a new perspective and getting your way, because the Six of Swords is moving into better waters. So you're getting your way from your new approach, which is love, which makes you more abundant, more attractive. This person gets what they want easily, you know. So it's understanding, having an epiphany, almost understanding that what you wanted was always accessible to you. It was just how you were looking at it. Either it was you were looking at it, it was something that wasn't accessible to you, maybe something you didn't even want, right? And I think there's a couple of things. Some of you might have to determine whether the person that you're in this power struggle with does in fact have the same vision as you. Because if that's the case, then it's just a matter of you coming together in a way that's cooperative, right? But for some of you, you're going to realize that it is just the power struggle is that these visions actually are not in line. And then what the case is this is just becoming an attachment, you know, both people resenting each other, being angry and trying to dominate because they feel they're blaming the other person for why they can't get to their ships. They're blaming the other person for why their ships won't come in. This is a codependent relationship if that's the case, right? If this vision is not, if you've talked about it and it doesn't line up, then this power struggle is out of sheer codependency, right? But if it does line up, then this is just a matter of two stubborn-ass people deciding that my way of getting to here is better than your way of getting to here. But they both created this picture together. They're just struggling on how they're going to go about it. But that is needing to worry too, because you need to be careful. You don't want to end up forgetting about this and making it all about this. Because then you won't get the cooperation needed to bring these boats in. Okay? So then we're going to pull from the Romance Angels. Okay? Actually, I just want to see, like, no, that's this. There's no other way to describe how you're going into May. You're going into May after how you look at things, being a little bit more gentle to yourself, okay? Which then makes you more emotionally acceptable, emotionally appealing and available to other people, okay? It's changing your vibration, and you're gonna feel that. You're going to feel that. It's like both of these cards, to me, it's like ships coming in. It's almost like you might be meeting the port. It's like, it's beautiful. Times are changing, okay? But just be aware and be cognizant of end user experiences, okay? Put yourself in other people's shoes, but don't only put yourself in other people's shoes. You need to be just as much aware of your experience. You need to put in the same analytical work that you do on other people onto yourself. Because the better you understand yourself, you'll be able to navigate people. Okay? Take the power back. Make it about how you're able to collaborate and what you bring to a table into the table during a work collaboration or a relationship partnership. Make it more about your abilities to be able to properly work together and not dominate and be cohesive. You know, that's a skill. When they ask you at a job interview, do you work well within a team or by yourself? If you're smart, you say both and you explain why. You never just say one, ever. So, being aware of how you show up and what you have to offer in a partnership, but how you're able to adapt and know that you can have a great partnership and a collaborative effort with people who do not function like you. But instead of trying to dominate their way of doing it, try to understand it. Okay? That's really important. Instead of trying to dominate it, try to understand it. And then you might learn a new way of doing things too. Okay? All right, guys, let's wrap up with some romance oracle cards. This is for April going into May. Thank you, Holy Spirit, Father God, and ancestors and guardian angels for everything, everything, everything. We appreciate you. Love yourself first. Absolutely. Okay? Love yourself enough to know you do not need to dominate anyone you do not need to convince anyone that you are lovable. You just have to do it first. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Convincing people that you're lovable doesn't. I don't know why I felt to say that. Let go of control issues. That's fitting. Like the amount of control, domination, and power. It's so like fucking... It's like gotta let that go. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. And what that says to me is, it's like, instead of trying to control how you come together or how that looks, allow it to unfold naturally by just expressing yourself and being present and presenting yourself with your abilities, your willingness, and your openness, and see where that fits and how it can work. Being communicative is very important, because I find that when you lack certain abilities to express yourself, you'll try to gain control in order to compensate for the control that gets a little complicated, but anyways, letting go of control issues. Sorry guys, Mercury retrograde is just coming out of shadow period, and I really had a tough one. Codependency worth waiting for. True love and attraction. Okay? Yeah. And very soon. So, love yourself first. We talked about the codependency. Right? If you are in some battle, power struggle with somebody who does not have the same visions of the future with you, you are codependent on this relationship or partnership or whatever. You're codependent over it. It doesn't even have your own visions of the future. You're waiting for a boat that has nothing you want on it. That means you're just codependent due to fears of thinking you can't get better than what you have, or thinking that you need this person to be able to dictate what the best life path is for you, when really you have the vision of that all on your own, right? And then what's beautiful is that when you stop dominating and when there's a new approach taken to partnership, which looks like will happen quite soon, it's like the real love comes in. Attraction starts budding. Loving affections and feelings starts budding. It's like people love to know that they're accepted. So when, instead of trying to dominate somebody's approach, you sit down and listen to them and like let yourself learn from them, and then share your approach instead of try to dominate or bombard or, you know, restrict or oppress somebody with it, you then start bonding, and then you allow people to be attracted by what makes you different and admire you from your nuances and what makes you different, and instead of trying to compete with it. There's room for everyone's gifts involved. There's room for all the stars, okay? Don't feed into the idea of the need to be special. There's no such a fucking thing, okay? Because if you look at these bees, imagine they lived thinking one of them was special. There'd be no such thing as honey. Anyway. That's your reading, guys. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you want a personal reading, just email me at queencuptarot@gmail.com. My Instagram, Miss Sweetie. I mean, it's just my personal Instagram. People want to hit me up there sometimes, so feel free to do that as well. And yeah, continue to let your inner angels live. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Ciao.